Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. I'm glad you're there because we're going to give you a lot of good information. We're going to teach you how to naturally get well and stay well. That's what this show is all about. I've been lecturing now for about 40 years. And every lecture I've ever done is about the same basic topic, how to naturally get well and stay well. So today we're going to talk about issues that pop up as we get older. Now, I was going to call it issues after 50, but I realized that a lot of people after 40 have some of these problems, and some people even have them after 30. So these are issues that pop up as we get older and what to do about them. And, the joke is I used to, run marathons, and now I hurt myself, put my underwear on. And yeah, your body changes. I had a patient just earlier say, well, Dr. Joe, I used to hold my adjustments when I was younger, but I notice I have to get more maintenance as I'm getting older. And one of the reasons is our body is held together by ligaments and tendons. And so ligaments and tendons attach muscles to bone, and ligaments attach bone to bone, should it matter to you. They get weaker as we get older. So imagine your tendons and your ligaments as rubber bands. And if you have a brand new rubber band, it's really elastic and really tight. And as it gets older, it kind of stretches out a little bit. It's still good, but it doesn't have quite the elasticity that it used to have. That's what's happening to your connective tissue. That's why we get wrinkles. That's why our body parts droop and sag, because we lose our elasticity. Now, it's really easy to slow down that process. That's good news, right? We can slow down that whole aging process. It's really easy. And it's almost, I'd say about 80% diet. A little bit of genetics, a little bit of environment. Mostly diet. So if you're putting foods that are high in free radicals are chemicals, they act like Pac-Man. They eat through things. Waka, 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 waka. And they'll eat through your connective tissue and then make it weak and saggy. So by cutting out your free radicals and increasing your antioxidants, now antioxidants are the things that fight free radicals. By doing that, our body does a wonderful job of slowing down that process and repairing itself. Even as we're getting to the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, you see people. I have one patient now. She's 105, and she's so cute. I'm just in love with her. She's wonderful. And she's got an amazing body structure. When we adjust her and we work on her muscles, it's like working on somebody who's 20 years old. Now, she's a little hard of hearing, and she won't wear hearing aids. But other than that, she's sharp. She's fine. She jokes about things. She's a little bawdy sometimes. So she had done the right things in her life. Talking to her, she had done a lot of the right things to prevent that free radical damage and increasing her antioxidant production. So overall, the general rule to slow down that aging process and fight these things that happen after certain times in our life is you want to make sure you're getting the right nutrients in your body and not putting the bad food in. And if you're new to the show, if you don't know what that means, go to our website, drjoe.com, and type in these words. Type in 7 deadly sins of nutrition. And that's a lecture I did a long time ago, and it talks about the 7 foods you want to avoid, which are alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. Now, if you're new to the show, you're thinking, but Dr. Joe, I only eat alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. That's my whole diet. And I'm going to starve if I can't eat those foods. Well, that's not true. Then you follow up with the savior. Type in, so what can I eat, in the search bar of our website, and listen to what I talk about what you can eat. Now, I have not had any animal products in over 35 years. I'm many decades old. And I run circles around the 20-year-olds. And most people think I'm about 15 years younger than I am. In fact, I told somebody the other day, I was at a marketing event, and they invited me. And this gal who I've known for years, probably known her for maybe 20 years now, I told her how old she was. She goes, you are not. She goes, I always thought you were so much younger than me. She goes, you're my age. And I went, oh, how about that? Pretty cool. So yeah, there's a lot of things we can do to stay young. And I can't imagine anything more important. Anything. Money, success, fame. I can't imagine anything more important than getting your body to stay as young and healthy as it can. Because you always hear, super rich people dying age 30, age 40, age 50. Celebrities, you see them go, oh my gosh, they haven't aged well. They can't sing anymore. They can't dance anymore. And then you look at other people and they're doing great. What's the difference? There is a difference. There's a protocol that's followed that makes it different. So all the money in the world, all the fame in the world, when it all comes down to it, I think I'd much rather live a normal, longer, happy, healthier life. Or how about we have it all? I like that one. Let's do it all. Let's live healthy. Let's have a lot of money. Let's be successful. Let's be famous. Let's do all of that if that's what you want. And you can do that by taking care of yourself. So some of the things that happen, we joke about things, ailments hit us so fast when we get older. And aches and ouches that you might not worry about when you're younger could be a sign of a big problem when you're middle age. And, getting out of bed. Like I said, football, you used to play football, and now getting out of bed hurts you more than playing football. So there are several things that can come up as we get older. And again, almost 100% of them are manageable. First one, surprisingly, is a heart attack. 1 out of 2 people will have a heart attack if they're 50 years or older, if you're a man. That's a crazy number. 50% of men over the age of 50 are going to have a heart attack. And that's almost 100% controllable. So 735,000 people every year have a heart attack. The most common signs, chest pain, shortness of breath, pain in the back, left shoulder usually, the neck. You might feel sweaty. You might feel dizzy. You might start throwing up. Now, what can we do to lower our risk of that happening? Well, it's very simple. Go to a plant-based diet. There's so much research proving that heart disease in most cases is manageable and in many cases reversible simply by changing your diet. So why wouldn't you do that? And it's not hard to do, it's just different. I've been teaching and lecturing, like I said, about 40 years now. People come to me all the time and say, Dr. Joe, I heard you 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years ago, and you changed my life because I took your advice and it saved my life, changed my life, added years to my life. People come to me all the time. My husband died. Oh my gosh, I'm so sad. No. He was over 100 years old. He's been following you for the past 40 years. That's why I got so many years out of him. Thank you. It just happened the other day. Thank you for giving me 40 more quality years with my husband. How cool is that? So think about these things. Is it worth it next time you're going to do something bad? Now, if you go to our website, drjoe.com, and just type in the words heart disease, you can listen to the whole show we did on heart disease. I don't want to focus just on that. Kind of tying into that is stroke. If you have a stroke, blood doesn't get to a part of your brain, and whatever on the other side of that blockage isn't getting blood supply and oxygen, and so that part of the body dies. Now, ways you might know you're having a stroke: sudden weakness, you can't stand up, numbness in your face or arms and legs, you lose your bearings, you get confused, you have trouble speaking. These are all telltale signs of having a stroke. The quicker we can get you under medical care, the better off we're going to be and the better prognosis is for recovery. So this, if you have these conditions, this is not a chiropractic case. This is not a nutrition case. This is a get your fanny to the medical doctor right away, to the emergency room immediately. Do not pass go. You know the joke. Get out there and get it right away. Because people say, well, Dr. Joe, I have numbness in my face. And I get so many questions on my website, drjoe.com. And I'm happy to answer all your healthcare questions at drjoe.com. But there are sometimes I say, listen, you need to get to the emergency room now. Don't jerk around. Go now. Well, no, not a well. Now. Do it. So symptoms of a stroke, of course, can be a problem. How do we lower our risk of stroke? It's very easy. Lower your cholesterol. Cut out animal products. And with a plant-based diet, it's very rare that somebody has a stroke. And you want to manage your stress, exercise, quit smoking. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do just to be generally healthy. But the biggest thing we can do is stop putting animal products in our body. Because the saturated fats can cause issues, loaded with free radicals. We've talked about meat in the past. If you cook meat, if you grill the meat, let's say, you smell that smoke, it smells so good. That's called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and that can increase your risk of cancer. If you grill the meat, or when you cook it, you get the grill marks, the thing that tastes so good. Those are called heterocyclic amines. Those are also known carcinogens, and they also affect your blood supply. So you might want to consider not doing it. Now, I ask you this rhetorical question. Why would you be eating things that you know are poison? If I gave you a glass of gasoline, you wouldn't drink it because you knew it was a poison. But these are slow-acting poisons. And so at least cut back your intake of the 7 deadly sins. Can we do that? What if we only do 7 deadly sins 3 days a week? Can we do that? Bet you can. And then you'll see changes. And then you'll say, wow, that was easy. I can go 2 days only with 7 deadly sins. And then 1 day. And then if you cheat, so to speak, that's not a big deal. I'm going to give you a special dispensation. I was raised Catholic. I can give you a special dispensation. I'm going to give you dispensation because it's more important what you do 90, 95% of the time than it is what you do 5% of the time. I remember years ago, I had a webmaster, a web design, whatever he was, our web guy. And he said, you said something in your lecture the other day that really stuck with me. And I said, what's that? And he had a horrible diet. He smoked, he drank. It was terrible. He said, you don't have to do everything all at once. And you don't have to do everything all at once. Make these little changes so that we can, as Cher said, turn back time. And we can do that, which is kind of cool. So heart attack, stroke, aneurysm. An aneurysm is when the artery walls, the walls of the artery get weak and they start to bulge out. Now, we take x-rays on a lot of our patients because we're a chiropractic and pain management clinic. And we also do nutrition, of course. And many, many, many times we can see the calcification in the blood vessels. If we can see it in a blood vessel, it's already in its advanced stages. The bad part and good part about that is almost 100% of that you did, self-induced, and about 100% of it is reversible if you do the right things. That's what's so cool. And you only have to give up the bad foods, eat good foods. It's really simple. And again, on the website, drjoe.com, listen to 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition, then type in, so what can I eat? There's your plan. It gets a little more complicated, a little more intricate, let's say, not even complicated. It gets a little more intricate as time goes on, but if you start there, oh my gosh, you're going to be amazed. I would add supplements to a rookie protocol. I would certainly add Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Now, they're 2 powders. They taste great. And we have Super Greens now. We have regular, we have mint, and now we have hemp. So if you've tried some, you want to try the other flavors, see which one you like, please do that. I like the hemp a lot. And I take a scoop of each, and I just shake it up with coconut milk, almond milk, and drink it down first thing in the morning. Some people have to get out of bed and have coffee. I want to get out of bed and have Super Greens and Essential Source. And once you start doing it, you'll see why. It'll make perfect sense to you. So that's going to give you the minimum nutrients to start your day. Then you start adding the good foods to it. Then you start adding, like I said, exercise and brain. The brain needs excitation. It needs stimulation. And just by listening to this show, we're stimulating your brain. Because this is new information for many of you. It's fun facts. It's interesting. And now you're exercising your brain. So if you want to do more brain exercises, which the brain controls everything, you can go to our website, drjoe.com. We have over 3,000 hours of podcasts, audio, video. If you're a podcast junkie, just go to your podcast service and type in Dr. Joe, D-R-J-O-E, for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it, and that's our podcast on your podcast servers. And we have hundreds of hours out there. And if you follow us on social media at Dr. Joe Esposito, we do a live stream. We live stream at least twice a week. And you can catch us there too. So if you follow us on social media, we'll send you a little reminder. Hey, Dr. Joe is live right now. And you can tune in. It's a lot of fun. And we always take your questions. So if you have questions, you can always send them to me through the website, drjoe.com. A little bot pops up. I'm happy to answer your questions. Another issue that happens as we get older is gallstones. Now, gallstones are hardened chunks of bile, and it clogs up your gallbladder. And the gallbladder has a very unique is redundant. It has a unique job, and that job is to store something called bile. Now, bile is made from your liver. It's made from cholesterol and waste products, so the body's recycling, breaks it down and creates something called bile. And bile dissolves fat. So if you ever had a sink of dirty dishes with grease on it, you squirted some dish soap on it, and you see the fat just dissolve, that's what bile does. And so the gallbladder stores bile, squirts it out, stores more, squirts it out. If you eat a bad diet, if you eat a lot of acid foods, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener, the body has to neutralize those acids, and the body uses calcium to neutralize those acids. So the acids can bind to the calcium and get stuck in the gallbladder, and that's one way you can develop gallstones. If you're obese, if you have diabetes, if you have Crohn's disease, if you don't exercise, now you have a higher risk of gallstones. My concern with gallstones and gallbladders is this. Many times, people have a digestive problem, acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, pain, whatever it is. And the go-to diagnosis after they do an endoscope and see that there's no cancer or anything, is let's pull out your gallbladder. And I've seen this happen countless times. Young people, old people, men, women, doesn't matter. They pull out the gallbladder, they remove it. Now you don't have a storage place for bile, so you have trouble breaking down fats. And it didn't do a darn thing for the digestive problem. And the answer I hear is, oh, well, didn't work. I'm okay. Not everything works. Not all treatment we do works. I understand that. But why not try something more conservative first? And then we can get a little more aggressive. I had a patient not long ago, about 65 years old, swollen prostate, want to do surgery. I said, let's try with nutrition. Let's try with chiropractic, open up the nerve supply to the prostate. Let's get you using the prostate more. And let's see what happens. And sure enough, his prostate shrunk. And the doctor said, oh, it shrunk. We don't need to do surgery. So it's not that the doctors are doing anything wrong or malicious. A famous man once said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I don't know how to do surgery. If you came to me and said, do I need surgery? My answer is, I don't know. I'm not a surgeon. People send me emails all the time. Do I need to have this removed? I don't know. I'm not a surgeon. What I can tell you is let's try to get you as healthy as possible, and maybe we can avoid the surgery. And in many cases we can. Some cases we can't. But at least give it a shot. There's no harm in trying to fix it. Now, if the gallbladder is rotten, about to burst open, go have your gallbladder removed. Absolutely. But if we have time, I recommend a more natural, holistic approach. And then again, we can't do it. We could always get cut open. I'm not against drugs. I'm not against surgery. I'm against unnecessary use of drugs and surgery. So if you have had your gallbladder removed, I've talked about this a lot on shows and people get crazy. Excited, I should say. There's a supplement that you should be taking every time you eat something with fat in it. And it's called Cholecol. It's from a company called Standard Process. And if you go to our website, I think it's under clinic, and then it'll drop down. You see a little link that says Standard Process. It's not our product. You go to another website. The reason I tell you this is because you can't buy from Standard Process. Only doctors can, or healthcare providers. But I'm going to give you access to my account. And then you can order it, and they'll ship it right to you. But whenever you eat something fatty, it's basically stored bile. And so you're replacing the bile you don't have, and it makes a world of difference when it comes to your digestive system. So we try to get the body as healthy as we can. In our offices, we do three things. We get the nervous system working, the digestive system working, and the diet straightened out. That's our plan. That's our business model. And so if you have a health issue, if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches, numbness, tingling, muscle weakness, digestive problems, acid reflux, nutrition concerns, my team of doctors and I would love to be your doctors. If you'd like to make an appointment, I think you should, go to our website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. You can book it right online. You can call us. We'll book it for you. The initial visit is normally $712. We've reduced that to $299. I know that's insane. And what you get, exam, consultation, x-rays, first treatment, going over the x-rays on your follow-up visit, and a complete nutrition evaluation. The x-rays alone are going to cost you more than $299 in almost anywhere else. You get all of that, and then you get a proposal. This is what I think you should do. The good news also, we accept almost all insurances. If you don't have insurance or you have a bad insurance that doesn't cover health care, a lot of them don't, we have plans available. We have care credit. We have payment plans. It can't be easier, folks, and it can't be less expensive. What you're getting is the greatest value you'll ever receive, in my opinion, when it comes to healthcare. And you get all the podcasts for free, whether you're a patient or not, at drjoe.com or on your podcast service, Dr. Joe for the health of it. So if you want to make an appointment in the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Go to drjoe.com, book the appointment. We can usually get you in within 24 hours on work days. So please make your appointment for you, your friends, your family, and your children. And if you're ever in a car accident, don't get scammed. People call up all the time. They get a copy of your police report. Hi, this is Joe from your insurance company, and you need to go see Dr. such and such and attorney such and such. That's a scam. Hang up the phone immediately. No one will ever call you to set you up an appointment if you're in a car accident. If they do, it's a scam. We would love to see you as a car accident, but please, if the car's damaged, you're damaged, get quality care right away. Even if you think you're not hurt, at least get checked out. I've never, in the years I've been seeing patients, seen a patient in a car accident where the car was damaged, but the patient wasn't. I've never seen that. And I've seen thousands and thousands of auto accident cases. drjoe.com. I digress. So as we get older, we're talking about things that happen that we have to look forward to, or we can try to prevent now. And pancreatitis is one of them. It's inflammation of the pancreas. And the pancreas is important because it produces digestive hormones. It alkalizes your system when food passes from the stomach into the small intestine. It can cause severe stomach pain, nausea, vomiting, fever, and it can be life-threatening. If you have this severe abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, fever, you need to get to a medical doctor right away. Don't come see us. There's times I tell you, don't come see us. Get to a medical doctor right away. Make sure you know what it is. Could be pancreatitis. Could be a tumor on your pancreas. Could be a gallbladder attack. Find out what it is. Get a good definitive diagnosis. And as long as you're not going to die immediately, then come see us. And then we might be able to put together a protocol for you. But if you're having severe stomach pain, usually if it's not like doubling over, I'm going to die pain, your stomach is pushed up against your diaphragm. And I've trained all my doctors to gently massage or pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm. And for patients with acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, it is a godsend in most cases. It's a godsend to me. I have this condition. And I know I feel fat. I start burping a lot. I feel bloated. I can't stop eating. That's one of my big symptoms. My brain isn't getting the message from my stomach that it's full. Even though I'm full, I feel full. But there's a hormone called leptin that's released from the stomach that goes into the blood system, into the hypothalamus, and says that you're full. I don't know any research done on this, but I think I'm not getting the leptin into my hypothalamus because I want to keep eating. And once I get my stomach adjusted, it's amazing. Now, it's not a one and done. Don't come in and say, oh, I'm going to get my stomach adjusted once and I'm fixed. No, it's going to take time to stabilize. And when it acts up, like mine acts up about once every 6 months, then I can get it on a maintenance adjustment. But initially, it's going to take several treatments to get it stabilized. And we want to check the nerves to your stomach as well, because we want to get the stomach in the right place and the nerves going to all the organs. That's where chiropractic care comes in. It's not just about pain. In fact, pain is only 10% of your whole body. 90% of your nerves don't feel pain. So you can have a problem, not know it. All my doctors are trained to check the nerves that feel pain and check the nerves that don't feel pain and check your digestive system. I don't know how to make this any clearer. The biggest complaint I get is, why didn't I do any of these things sooner? And especially with today's topic of things that happen when you get older, people come in all the time and say, why didn't I fix this years ago? So don't be one of them. Get it fixed. Fractures is a big issue with older folks too. The bones become weak. One of the big issues we have with that is you need to take vitamin D3. You can take calcium supplements. You could eat a high calcium diet. You could eat a low acid diet, which is actually more important than anything because the acid robs the body of calcium. And if you're just joining us, remember the 7 foods that are acidic? Alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener, the 7 deadly sins. If you're eating a standard American diet, you're eating the 7 deadly sins, you're sucking calcium out of the bones, now you decide, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to start eating the way Dr. Joe says. I'm going to take super greens and essential source. I'm going to take supplements. I'm going to get the bad food out of my life. You need vitamin D3 to absorb the calcium from your food. And then you need vitamin K2 to take the calcium and drive it into the bones. On our website, drjoe.com, you can book an appointment, of course. We have the supplements, Super Greens and Essential Source. We also have Dr. Joe's vitamin D3. It already has K2 in it. That's the one I take every day. So it's not hard to figure out. Folks, if you have a health issue, please come see us. We want to be your doctor. Stop suffering needlessly. If you're a podcast junkie, type in Dr. Joe for the health of it on your podcast service. Hundreds of hours there. Our website, drjoe.com, probably 3,000 hours of podcasts. And follow us on social media. Please do this as a favor to me, at Dr. Joe Esposito, at Dr. Joe Esposito. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Thanks for being here. We're talking today about a really important topic, actually. We're talking about what happens when you get older, certain health conditions that pop up as we get older, and then what to do about them. But the key to all of this, and I've got a lot to cover, but the key is prevention. Proactive. Yeah, you can be reactive, but I'd rather you be proactive. And then if you have to be reactive, it's always a whole lot easier because your body's already a lot healthier. You don't have to get to the way you are, that healthy point. So the best thing to do, 3 things: normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, good nutrition. You have to eat anyway. You might as well eat good foods. Prices are skyrocketing everywhere. Inflation, war, viruses. People are stressed out. Gas prices through the roof. People are stressed out. And if you eat a stressful diet, you're throwing fuel onto that stress fire. And I did a show last week about stress and how it affects your health. But the cool part about eating well is it's so much cheaper than anything you're doing right now. Exponentially cheaper. You say, but Dr. Joe, tomato prices just went up 10 cents a pound. Pound of tomatoes, $1, $1.25. Pound of meat, $7, $8. That's probably cheap. So, and when you cook the meat, of course, you lose a lot of the fat boils out. Now with tomatoes, I understand there's water in there too. But it is so easy to eat cheap. And if you don't know what to eat, my first book I ever wrote was on this topic. It's called Eating Right for the Health of It. It's on our website, drjoe.com. We have it PDF. We have it on as a paperback. But if you go to our website for free, you can type in, so what can I eat? There's no recipes in that lecture, but at least I tell you what to eat. Breakfast, lunches, dinner, snacks, stuff like that. You will be fascinated if you just follow my advice for 2 weeks. That's all I ask. 2 weeks. If I'm wrong, so what? I'm wrong. You saved a couple of bucks. You ate some good food for 2 weeks, and you said, "Oh, he's wrong. I don't want to do this anymore." But if I'm right, which I am, then you'll say, "Now I get it." I want you to give it 2 weeks. You'll see changes in about 3 days, but I just want you to give me 2 weeks. I have coached people for, like I said, almost 40 years now on health and wellness and diet and nutrition. No one has ever come back to me and said, "Dr. Joe, I followed your advice on nutrition and it was the wrong advice." Ever. Hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, maybe, between radio shows, TV shows, books, lectures. No one's ever regretted doing it. That's a pretty good success rate. So try it and see. See if you're one of them. Maybe you'll be the first one that wasn't happy, but I don't know. May not. All right, so we're talking today about things that can happen to you as you get older, conditions or health problems that arise. One of them is vertigo. And years ago, I remember taking a seminar with a very famous neurologist, and it was fall prevention. Not preventing the season, but preventing falls. His name was John Carrick? Yeah. And I remember thinking, how boring is this seminar going to be? Fall prevention? Oh, geez, hold on to things. Wow, this guy's brilliant. And it was my first introduction to chiropractic neurology. And I walked out of there going, I want more. This song, I want more. Blew my mind. Because when it comes to vertigo and imbalance issues, it usually comes from one of two places, and I'll add a third place. One of them is the back of your brain called the cerebellum. Cerebellum controls balance. And what we usually find is the cerebellum on one side isn't getting enough neurological input compared to the other side. And so when I have somebody stand up and close their eyes and they start to fall, let's say, to their left, first thing I do is stimulate the left cerebellum and see if that solves it. Most cases, it does amazing results. And we said the brain needs stimulation. So if the brain is not getting enough stimulation or in unequal stimulation, it's going to malfunction. So the cerebellum is one. There's canals in your ear, and that could be a problem. And there's little crystals that can form in the ears. And there's a maneuver we can do to actually try to break up those crystals. And it's one maneuver you could actually just tap on the side of the skull. I've done that many times to break up those crystals. And so first we check the cerebellum. That's easier. Then we check the crystals. And the other thing we have to look at is something called the proprioceptive system. That's a big word. Proprioception tells you where you are in space. Right now, if I close my eyes, I can touch my nose, I can touch my ear, I see the microphone, I can touch the microphone in front of me even though I don't see it. I know where I am in space. That's your proprioceptive system. There's proprioceptive fibers in all the joints, but the biggest concentration are in your sacroiliac joint, your hip, your tailbone area, and in your jaw. And the reason there's such a high concentration of proprioceptive fibers in there is that you can't see yourself chewing or talking. So your jaw has to know where it is so you don't bite your tongue and bite your cheeks. And so that's why. And in your hips, we have proprioceptive systems so we can stand upright, so that we don't fall over. So we have to watch our feet when we walk. So you can play sports. I'm dribbling a basketball. I'm not looking at my feet. I have to know where I am in space. So if you have an injury to your sacroiliac joint or your jaw, your temporomandibular joint, that can affect the proprioceptive system, which can throw off your balance. Pretty cool, huh? I remember a couple of years ago, about a year ago now, a friend of mine, retired orthopedic surgeon, he came to me as a patient, and we was adjusted, and we were talking. And I talked about the proprioceptive system. I got a little more in depth than that. And he looked at me and he didn't look good. And he wasn't a healthy looking guy to begin with. And I said, "You okay?" He says, "What you just said," he's retired now. He says, "What you just said, I'm still processing it." He said, "One of the surgeries that I did on a regular basis was fusing the sacroiliac joint, so that if people had pain, we'd fuse it so they wouldn't move it and it wouldn't hurt anymore." He said, "I have no idea how much damage I did in my career by fusing sacroiliac joints. I never thought of the impact it would have on the proprioceptive system." Oh my God. And he just looked white as a ghost. And so once again, I said earlier, forgive them for they know not what they do. He knew about the proprioceptive system. He knew about the proprioceptive fibers that are in the sacroiliac joint. He did the fusions on a regular basis because it was a high-profit surgery, never thinking about the long-term effects. And so I wish I'd gotten to him when he started his career and not ended his career. But we try to do things without drugs and surgery if at all possible. If you need to have your sacroiliac joint fused, absolutely. Go see a good orthopedic surgeon. Go see a good neurosurgeon. But hopefully we can fix it without going to that extreme. And I remember somebody saying, "Dr. Joe, your diet is so extreme. Not eating alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. That seems extreme to me." I said, "I think cutting your chest open to pull your heart out to massage it so it doesn't stop beating, that seems more extreme to me. Taking high blood pressure medications every day, if there's a way to fix it without the medication, that seems extreme to me. Dying 10, 20, 30 years sooner than you should, that seems extreme to me. Eating broccoli, not so extreme anymore, is it?" And so we have the protocols on the website, drjoe.com, what to eat, what not to eat. But I digressed away from vertigo. We've seen tons of cases of vertigo, and in most cases, we get very good results. So if you have the vertigo, I would check the cerebellum, I would check the canals in the ear, semicircular canals, and then I would check the proprioceptive system. And if those three things are fixed, in many cases, the vertigo gets better. Sometimes it could be a lesion on the brain, it could be a tumor, it could be a stroke. You know what? Let's try these other things first. We could always go more extreme if we need to, but I'd like to start out slower. My dream, before I retire, is to get this concept, to start out with the basics as the new model for healthcare. Now, I got a bullet in my arm, surgery. Okay, I got a broken arm, orthopedic surgeon. I got acid indigestion. Maybe we can pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. I got back pain. Maybe chiropractic is the answer. Chiropractic is the most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain. There's your answer. Most effective, least expensive. You know where I learned that from? A friend of mine is an orthopedic surgeon, a neurosurgeon. He said, if you end up in my office and you haven't gone through chiropractic care and then maybe physical therapy, and he says, you don't belong in my office. He says, you should only come to me if you've tried everything else and nothing else has worked. And he's the one that gave me that phrase. Chiropractic, most effective, least expensive treatment. I don't know why the whole world doesn't do that. And I just went nuts at it. Yeah, you go, girl. That was great. So vertigo, again, we try to get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. This happened to me not long ago. My retina became slightly detached. I was driving my car. It's a child in the back seat. And I kept seeing these flashes of light out of the corner of my right eye. And I thought the child was playing with a flashlight. I turned around, no flashlight. Where's this coming from? Kept happening. It was on a Friday. And so Saturday, it got worse. And every time I blinked my eye, I'd see this flash of light. So I called up my eye doctor, Dr. Z. She's not my doctor anymore. She moved. And she said, I will see you in the office tomorrow on an emergency call, Sunday. So I paid the extra fee. And I went to see her, and she looked at my eye. She goes, yeah, this happens when you get older. You start to see these flashes of light. She says, I'm very glad you got here. Yours is very minor. It's no big deal. It's going to go away. It's going to happen in the other eye too, and then you'll be fine. It won't affect your vision. You're healthy. It'll be okay. She said, now with people that are diabetic, that are overweight, that have a bad diet, that drink, that smoke, sometimes the retina can become totally detached, and that becomes a real serious issue and can permanently lose eyesight. So if you see these little flecks of light flashing in the corner of your eye, get to your eye doctor immediately. This is not a chiropractic case. This is not a supplement case. This is not a nutrition case. Get to your eye doctor immediately. Now, I have a condition as well called macular degeneration. And I was told several years ago, I'm going blind. There's nothing you can do about it. You could take some zeaxanthin and lutein supplements, but that might slow it down. It's really not going to fix it. So I was told I was going blind, and I got very concerned. And I thought, what do I do about this? So I did my research, and we talked earlier in the show about antioxidants and free radicals, and I got to get my antioxidant levels through the ceiling. So I really cracked down harder on my supplement protocol, and I started taking more super greens, more essential source. I took digestive enzymes to break down my food more efficiently. I took probiotics. I took omega-3 fatty acids for inflammation, vitamin D for many different things, including immunity. And every time I go to the eye doctor, they take a picture of my eye, and my macular degeneration, and I have pictures on my website, drjoe.com. Just type in macular degeneration. Every year, the macular degeneration is getting better and better and better. My vision's getting better. I need new glasses. I can't wear glasses to read now. I used to have to, I could read up close, but I couldn't read, even an arm's length away. Now I can see probably 5 feet away clearly. So it is something called presbyopia. It is something that happens as you get older. It's one of the benefits getting older. But it's awesome. I got to go to my eye doctor and get new glasses because my vision is getting better. Isn't that cool? And the macular degeneration, of course, didn't blind me, obviously. So it's kind of important that you take note of these things. And again, these are things, sometimes they're chiropractic, sometimes they're not. We talked about gall stones. Same rules apply for kidney stones. I have never had a kidney stone, but I've had a friend of mine, my friend Larry, unfortunately passed away. But I remember years and years ago when we first became friends, he came in my office, my back hurts. I need an adjustment. So I did something called the Murphy's Punch. I just kind of gently tapped on his kidneys, and he doubled over in pain. And I said, you have a kidney stone. Went to the doctor. Doctor checked him out, said, nah, you're fine. Go home. Kept happening. I did another Murphy's test. It was painful again. I said, go back to a different doctor. This guy missed his diagnosis. And sure enough, he went to a different doctor. Doctor said, Larry, you have kidney stones. We need to use ultrasound to break them up. And that was the day that Larry solidified his relationship with me, his friendship with me. He said, I went to a urologist and he missed it. You got it. He says, I trust you now. I trust. I'm huge on trust. You got to win somebody's trust. But kidney stones usually happen more common in men than women. And it usually happens from eating a high acid diet. Because you eat acid foods, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener. The acid binds with calcium to neutralize the acid, and then it comes out of your body. And as it passes through the kidneys, it can build up and crystals can form. Now, some people genetically form more kidney stones than others. But if you're taking large amounts of vitamin C is an acid. It's a good acid, but too much of anything ain't right. I remember somebody saying to me years ago, what's the difference between medicine and poison? It's dosage. Too much of medicine can become poison. And so same thing with vitamin C. Too much of vitamin C can become poison. And it's so acidic that it binds to calcium and can cause kidney stones. So if you're prone to kidney stones, I wouldn't take a vitamin C supplement. I wouldn't take a vitamin C supplement anyway. But if you're taking Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, you're getting plenty of vitamin C along with plenty of everything else almost. So it's the minimum supplements I think everybody should be taking. And they're on the website, drjoe.com. Now, prices are going up. We're trying to keep our prices as low as we can. Believe me, I understand your plight. I'm a consumer too. So we'll ship them to you. It's only a couple of bucks. But if you want to come pick them up, there's no cost. If you come to our offices, no cost for shipping. We have offices in the Atlanta area, Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. Just check the website because different clinics have different hours. And when you come in, do this. Make an appointment and meet with one of our doctors and get a consultation. See if you have any health issues that we think we can help. And if you do, we'll tell you. If you don't, we'll tell you that too. So it'll save your trip, save some gas. But set up a consultation and we'll discuss if there's anything we think we might be able to help you with. And normally, again, the consultation is no charge, but if we find something we want to work with, we think we can help you, we want to go right into treatment right away. And so normally the first visit, minus the free consultation, is $712. We've reduced that to $299. And I know people say, well, Dr. Joe, that's an insane, how do you get so crazy? We want to find out if you're a candidate for our treatment. And so you get an exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays on your follow-up visit, and a complete nutrition evaluation. And that's $299. Then after that, if we do take you on as a patient, the care is usually covered by most insurances. If you don't have insurance, we have care credit, we have payment plans, we have cash available. It is the most effective, least expensive treatment, and I'm going to add this to it, best investment you'll ever make when it comes to your healthcare, in my opinion. So if you'd like to make an appointment, drjoe.com. You can do it right online or call us. We're happy to set up whatever we can for you and get you in as quickly as possible. Many times we can even get you in the same day or within 24 to 48 hours. So it doesn't have to be that quick, but we can usually do it. Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb, drjoe.com. All the supplements are on the website. Order them there or come pick them up. Save shipping. I don't know how to make it easier for you, folks. Unless I came to your house, which I'm not going to do, we can't make it any easier for you. And my team of doctors, I believe, are some of the finest in the world. I trust them with me. I trust them with my loved ones. You can trust them too. They're amazing as far as I'm concerned. Other issues that can happen as you get older, one of them is pneumonia. And many times, pneumonia is caused by bacteria. people over 50 have a high risk of getting pneumonia caused by bacteria, not the virus one. It can be caused by both. But pneumococcal pneumonia, that's what I was talking about, can be life-threatening. And one of the reasons is you have to be moving. And the lungs need action. They need to be breathing. The muscles need to be contracting. And as you get older, many times we sit around and fluid can build up in our lungs. And that fluid is a breeding ground for pneumococcal bacteria. And that can become pneumonia, and that can kill you. So once again, another case for staying active. Keeping the body in motion. Walk, garden, clean the house. Just do something. Right? Do something, anything. But keeping the body in motion is really the key to good health. And I want you to consider that. And it's a lot more fun, too. And you get a lot more energy when you move around. When I do radio shows, a lot of times I sit sometimes for my podcast, the way it's set up. But if I'm at the main studio, I always stand. I walk around. I'll do sit-ups. I'll do push-ups. I'll jump up on the counter and just bring my knees up to my chest. I'll do push-ups against the counter. At the breaks, what else am I going to do? Commercial breaks, nothing else I can do. And so just consider, what else can I do to stay in motion? Another issue that pops up as we get older is arthritis, and that can lead to something very severe called spinal stenosis. Now, arthritis, there's two types, osteo and rheumatoid. Osteoarthritis is always mechanical. What that means is bones are out of place rubbing up against each other. And so it's a mechanical issue. So if my tires on my car are out of alignment, what do? I bring it in and get it aligned. If my body's out of alignment, you want to bring it into our offices and let's get it aligned. It's a physical problem. You can't treat osteoarthritis with drugs. You can bring down the swelling, you can bring down the pain, but you can't treat the cause unless you realign the joints. Sometimes the arthritis is so far gone, the results are at least stabilizing the joint. But we want to not only stabilize it, we want to try to reverse it just a little bit. It's never going to be perfect. Once a joint starts to wear out, it's never going to be like it was originally, but we want to do everything we can to stabilize that. And with spinal stenosis, it can make itself known very suddenly. So what happens is there's 24 vertebrae in your spine. They're stacked up one on top of each other. And in the middle, there's a canal of each one of these vertebrae. And when they stack up, they line up and form this canal. And the spinal cord sits in the canal. If that canal becomes smaller, it's stenosis. If it becomes smaller, that's called spinal stenosis. And if that gets small enough that it puts pressure on your spinal cord, that's a big problem. And spinal stenosis is a form of arthritis, and the bones are out of place. Many times by realigning the bones, we kind of realign that canal, vertebrae to vertebrae, and it takes a lot of stress off the spinal cord. So when you have pain, back pain, you want to come see us right away. Because every day that goes by, the deterioration gets a little more and a little more and a little more. And then sometimes it's too far gone to see major improvement. So as soon as you get to us with back pain, the better off you're going to be. We have 4 offices. We're open 5 days a week. We accept insurance. We accept cash. We make the first visit amazingly affordable. I don't know what's stopping you. So if you're serious about wanting to get well, for you, your friends, your family, your children, just go to our website, drjoe.com, book an appointment. I don't know what to say. Just do it. Most people are very happy they made that decision. So chiropractic care for osteoarthritis and spinal stenosis, I don't know why it's not just mandatory. You have to go to a chiropractor by law. I don't know, get your driver's license taken away if you don't. I mean, it's that important. Don't take your drive. I'm big on rights. I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying a word here. All right, another thing, gout. A lot of patients come in with gout, And sudden pain and swelling in some of your joints, usually the feet, the big toes, a popular one for gout. It's a form of arthritis by buildup of uric acid in the body. Certain medications for high blood pressure, eating red meat, eating shellfish, drinking alcohol, makes you at higher risk. But the big risk that nobody seems to talk about is fructose. Fructose or high fructose corn syrup. When you eat fructose, like you can eat an apple that has fructose in it, but it has other vitamins and minerals and nutrients and fiber, that's different. If you're eating concentrated fructose, like soda, high fructose corn syrup, and it's in thousands of other products, the fructose cannot be utilized as fuel in the human body. The fructose has to be converted into glucose, and glucose is the form of fuel that the body uses. As the body converts fructose into glucose, happens in the liver, the body produces a waste product called uric acid. Uric acid gets in your joints and it hurts. So this is one of the reasons we do a nutrition workup on every one of our patients, because we want to get you the best, fastest results that we possibly can. And we can give you the best chiropractic care in the world. But if you're having a bad diet, you may not see the results you want. We add the dietary approach and we add to fix the digestive system approach. And that's when we start to see those amazing statistics of people getting well. Fructose creates uric acid. Uric acid prevents the body from producing something called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a component of your blood vessels, and it opens up the blood vessels, increasing circulation, lowering blood pressure, helping get oxygen to your brain, your sex organs, your liver, your spleen, your kidneys. So if you're eating a lot of sugar and fructose, you're lowering your nitric oxide production because the uric acid is blocking the nitric oxide production. Number one supplements we have are Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. There are 3 types of Essential Super Greens. They're all basically the same nutrition value. So that's the number one supplement. It's tied for first place. The number 2 supplement we have is nitric oxide. I love my nitric oxide. It helps me think. It makes my brain work better. It gives me energy. It increases circulation to all parts of the body. There's no downside unless you have low blood pressure. If you have low blood pressure, I recommend you don't take nitric oxide. But other than that, it's on the website, drjoe.com. Tons of energy, clear thought processes, no jittery shaking. I can take it in the evening, go to bed and sleep. It's amazing. So all the supplements, we have like 20 different supplements. Look at the website. Look and see which ones you think would work for you. If you have questions, send them to me through the website, drjoe.com. If you're a podcast junkie, you like what you heard today, go to Dr. Joe for the health of it on your podcast service, and we have hundreds of hours of podcasts all for you. On our website, you can search topics. Just type in what you're looking for. We have over 3,000 hours of podcasts, video, audio. Follow us on social media. Please do this. This is my one favor I need from you. At Dr. Joe Esposito, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post every week on a YouTube channel. And again, if you have questions, drjoe.com. We really want to be your doctors. So stop suffering needlessly. Make an appointment right now. Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb, drjoe.com.